Network of awareness makes your brain coherent. One of the fastest growing podcasts. You can hear it 24/7. Got listeners out in London, informationalists in Paris. Echo spreading out, no parrot. Just dissect, digest, and share it. The righteous rhymes hit the spirit. Click 90 times, it won't perish. Cause y'all's the mind ain't no fairy tale like the belly our parents. It's time to rise, don't get wary. United minds, it's apparent. Download every single errand, but most ain't fit to catch it, even if they were Larry. Interviews, the interludes, they enter you, taking you on a journey like no other. It places you in a state of awareness. It's your fault if you hate the truth, cause Yahweh been Yahweh's on his way, my brother. Better change your views. All praise to Yah.
Hello, positive people. You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness podcast radio station, giving you in-depth information on society and culture in America and abroad, with messages of inspiration, with keen insights, reputable interviews, and much more. So now, without further ado, your host of the Network of Awareness podcast, ORRA, the informationalist.
Peace and greetings, people. Welcome to the Network of Awareness live broadcast show. This is a bonus episode, but it's episode 46 of season 4. I hope everybody is enjoying their Saturday. I hope people are enjoying their Sabbath and their weekend with their loved ones. This show is episode 46. Life is filled with possibilities. And this show is brought to you by A1 Career Services, where opportunity begins. Check out a1careerservices.com for your staffing needs for your entrepreneurial businesses, your small business, and your mid-sized businesses. If you're looking for employees to fill roles and positions, check out A1 Career Services with Danita Britton. So, brothers and sisters, welcome to the Network of Awareness. I had some time today, even though I'm rearranging my, I'm kind of reorganizing the studio tonight, amongst other things I have to do, but I'm making it happen. I got some free time tonight to do what I love to do, and I decided to do this promo episode. I didn't get to do my episode at 12 noon like I had announced because I had so much going on. There's a storm going on that's just dying down now. It's been pouring, people. I mean, pouring. And I got caught up in the rain because I was out and about. And I was supposed to do this episode at 12. I did a live feed talking about this, and that I was going to be on StreamYard. So for those that were looking out for me at 12, I didn't even get to do it because so much came up, and I completely forgot on my schedule. And I must have been slipping today, but I had a marketing meeting at 1 p.m. today, so it wouldn't have worked out anyway. But with all that being said, I'm here. So most of you are not going to be able to tune in live, so just definitely download the show whenever you get a chance. I normally don't do shows on the weekend, but sometimes I do. If I have to catch up or if I just feel compelled in the spirit to do so. And today I did. And I titled the show Life is Filled with Possibilities because There's so many infinite possibilities when it comes to our lives, people. And when we hold our faith and we stay diligent in the principles that have been laid out in the covenant by the Most High, and the Most High's principles that he has instilled in us spiritually, innately, life is filled with infinite possibilities because the universe is filled with infinite potential. It is limitless. And because we are one with the universe, we are limitless if we choose to realize that. And these are some of the things that I wanted to talk about today because there's always opportunities. Always. And I'm just so grateful. And I really wanted to hone down on this as well. I just want to show my gratitude for all of the brothers and sisters that have shown me so much love. You know, like, and when I mean by love, I'm not saying that they're like, oh, I love you so much. But they've shown me so much respect. They believe in me. They believe in my skills, in my abilities. They seek counsel from me. They do business with me, and they appreciate me. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who has believed and appreciated in me since I first started podcasting in June of 2020. And the crazy part is that from June to about January, I was popping. Like, I wasn't like blowing up or anything, but I was popping. Like, I was getting a lot of listeners. Once I came into the year 2021, I really started focusing on giving praise to the Most High. And when I started doing a lot more of that, when I started integrating spirituality into my society and culture and social sciences rhetoric, I lost a lot of listenership in Florida. My listenership in Florida was off the chain, people, when I first started. Within the first 3 months, I had a lot of people listening to me in the state of Florida. Once I started integrating spirituality into the mix, I lost a lot of listeners, and then slowly but surely gained new listeners that was more interested in spirituality things. Even though my show is not based on spirituality, it's more of a subcategory. Spirituality is everything. Right? It really is. It's everything that is real. And when I started integrating that and giving praise to Yahweh Elohim, as I've been doing for a long time now, I lost a lot of listeners and then slowly but surely gained more. And the funny part was that I didn't lose listenership internationally. The only way I lost listenership internationally, and I lost a good chunk of it, was because I started talking about the KK-19 and science appliance, and boom. You know, I've talked about it before. Australia, Spain, like the numbers just drastically went down, and it was because of shadow banning. And when I spoke to my developers in Texas that I'm doing my TV channel with, they were telling me that I'm not the only one, and that I'm actually fortunate to be experiencing it by not being such a big podcasting or radio personality that has hundreds, if not millions of followers. Because he was telling me that those people got a lot of their networks shut down completely and censored and banned. Imagine having like 700,000 followers, or a million, or 2.3 million, or 500,000. And then all of a sudden it goes down to like 50 or 100 or 500 or 1,000. Oh man, that's insane. And a lot of people in my industry are migrating to TV. I'm not the only one. And as many of you know, Yashkara Worldwide went into TV channel as well. And a lot of people are doing this. Now, some people are doing it because they just chose to, and it was the right time. Me personally, I did this I'm starting a TV channel because I'm trying to accelerate and excel in what I'm doing, and TV is a good option for me through subscription and through sponsorship and ad insertion, that I can make a significant income from this, as well as still continue to fulfill my purpose as being a messenger and really giving people some really great information. I took a ride today in an Uber, and I met a good brother. Matter of fact, I think his name was Kobe. Let me just make sure I don't mess his name up. Oh, Jacoby. So shout outs to brother Jacoby that I met today in the Uber ride. And we got to chop it up a little bit. He played some music for me because he was asking me what I do. And I told him, I talk a lot about, I told him I talk a lot about racism. I talk about spirituality, society and culture, the science appliance, and the medical tyranny. And I told him, I'm said that the network of awareness is for everybody, but I'm pro-melanated people. Let's just make that clear. Not that I am somebody that doesn't care about all different ethnic backgrounds, because I believe that if your spirit is in line with the Most High, I can work with you. I can build with you. We can do things together, or we can just admire each other from a distance and show each other a lot of respect. And this network is all about that. It's about building with like-spirited people. But to the core of it, because of my experiences, because of my background, I'm pro-melanated people. I've been like that since I was a little kid. And I don't like saying pro-black anymore, because black is not who the true people or the true Hebrews are. They're not black people. They are the true original human beings of the planet. They are the melanated people. They are the people that are connected to the sun, to the universe, and to the cosmos, as we all are. But they're the original. We derive from melanated people. We derive from crystal melanated people, to be exact, because those are the people that were on this planet that we all derive from. But this network is for everybody. It's for everybody. Whether you are, and me personally, I'm not one to gravitate to social constructs, even though people say, oh, where are you from? You look Puerto Rican, or, you sound like you're from New York. Yes, I grew up in the Bronx. I'm a New Yorican, right? If you want to call me that as a social construct. My family is from Puerto Rico, all right? And I come from a family of melanated people. Some of them were enslaved. And there's a long history of, the people that I come from. And I'm for everybody, but at the end of the day, this network is to awaken the light within human beings, to let them know that the Most High is within them, and that spirituality, that essence, is infinite and is filled with limitless possibilities. And the more I can spread that message of truth, along with exposing the legacy of lies around the world, especially in this shit place that we know as the United Shenanigans of America, this network of awareness is to provide awareness to those that are ready to receive it, that are ready to become aware, those that want to be prepared for this spiritual warfare that's about to get real physical. And talking about this, I saw a clip this morning on IG, right? Because a lot of people send me stuff on IG that I get to see. And I came across the video footage of a man talking about how the commercial media is not telling you that they're shutting off all the cameras in New York City and in the Northeast area. And they're claiming nuclear warfare and nuclear scare. And I talked about this. I played the video just this past week. I played the actual nuclear war preparedness video that is circulating all throughout New York City. Now, if you ask me, I'm not a prophet. I'm not a psychic. And I never claim to know what the Most High plans on doing or is going to do. I will never do that ever, because I don't know. I don't have a clue about what the Most High has planned or is going to do. What I do know about the Most High is that the Most High operates off of principle. And the Most High has everything operates off of universal principle throughout the cosmos. So one thing I do know is that when there's too much negative energy, i.e., like Sodom and Gomorrah, the Most High is going to clean house. And we are currently in a state or phase of life. We are in days of revelations, as the scriptures breaks down so well, and not just in Revelations, but the scriptures breaks down through all the books, all right, that we are about to experience great calamity for all of the atrocities and the iniquities and the sins of man and of the demigods or the fallen angels. And things are going to get cleaned up. But before things get cleaned up, in order for them to be cleaned up, and in order for there to be a great spiritual reckoning and cleansing, it's going to get ugly. So I don't know if this nuclear scare is real, but if it is what it is. Your faith better be on point. Your faith better be on steroids, and you better have a relationship with the Most High the best way you know how. Because I can't tell anybody how to have a relationship with the Most High. All I could tell you is to have one and to be diligent in the principles that are laid out in the covenant. And if you don't know what the covenant is, just do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Put out righteous intentions and live them out. That's the best advice I could give, because I strayed away from scriptures when I was young, but it was like fed to me. It was force fed to me. I think that's one of the only reasons why I still stayed connected, because there was one point where I didn't want to believe in scriptures. You know what I mean? I started believing in like God body stuff and more of Egyptian, pagan, stuff. And there's truth to Egyptology, but it's not all truth. And a lot of it is paganistic in the sense that many Egyptology information it's not supportive of the Most High. It's more supportive to entities that are demonic. And a lot of those beings that you see in Egyptology, a lot of them were the fallen. A lot of them were fallen beings. They were really beings that looked like dogs. All right. If you know about the story of the Marmadukes, there was beings that looked like lions. See, a lot of people think the Sphinx is some type of metaphoric thing with the lion facing the east, and that there's some type of connection there. But the reality is that whether you want to believe it or not, there were beings that really looked like that. There was all types of shit that existed on this planet. Matter of fact, there are still all types of dinosaurs and crazy ass creatures like the one we saw in the ocean that the military was flying and hovering over. And we saw that big ass blue whale in the ocean. And then it looked like this fucking Godzilla looking stingray. Because that's what that thing looked like. It looked like a huge fucking like 5 mile or 3 mile long creature that looked like this massive type of stingray, but I couldn't see the face. But the body type of it looked like a fucking super duper stingray creature. And then the blue whale was swimming towards it. And that's the only part of the clip that you see. But what I can tell you is that we're in a time right now where a lot of things are happening, where all of this history that's been coveted, and shout outs to Brother Cook, shout outs to Allura Beauty Abundance and King's Grew. Keep doing your thing, brother. All right. And if you ever want to do some marketing with me, you just hit me up and I got you. Yeah, bro. But those Egypt people, a lot of them were different, and they have names. They have names. Like if you look at the hieroglyphics, and there's one that is shown a lot in documentaries, and it's this serpent type of creature that looks like humanoid body kind of type, but the face was kind of reptile bird-like. And it's sitting on a throne. It's about, I would say, at least 20 feet tall, because everybody else, all of the Hebrews and the people of that time were looking up to this being. A lot of these fallens, they were ruling for thousands of years, but this is all kept secret. And the crazy part is that when you have Egyptologists, especially the ones of European descent, they kind of speak about it metaphorically, like as if those images that we're seeing are just humans dressing up in costume. But they're not. These are actually freaking fallen demigod angels that were cast down with the one that was sent down with the rest of them, which was Lucifer, right? And a lot of people, see, the reason why a lot of people think this is some imaginary shit is because we've lost a lot of our essence to our spiritual awareness. That's why when scientists talk about junk DNA, that DNA is the DNA that has somehow been altered. And I believe that there was an altered process that we went through at one time. Because when you read scriptures, a lot of the men and women of antiquity, they lived for hundreds of years. And they had all types of unbelievable strength and ingenuity, intuition. I mean, it was crazy back in the days. Like, humans were powerful as fuck. But somehow, some way, this junk DNA that they call, it's DNA that we are not accessing those strains. But when we do access it through the brain, and we could just access one portion or one strain extra, one extra chromosome. And when we access that and it secretes through the brain tissue into the hormones, that's when you can start walking through walls. You can read minds. You can talk telepathically. I mean, you could do some amazing shit. Matter of fact, on a side note, they said that Bruce Lee was using about 2 or 3 more % of his brain. And that's why he was able to dial in to a lot of metaphysical shit that was just amazing, like the 1-inch punch. Because when you think about the 1-inch punch, right, where he would put his all his fingers on your chest and then just clench his fist and pop it in a snapping motion, and people would fly back like fucking 10 feet. That's because he was tapping in to the metaphysical, spiritual aspect of how the body works and what the body is actually capable of when it's in tune with the spirit. And if we only could access that junk DNA, man, it's a wrap. But I truly believe, and this is my personal opinion. And yeah, brother, I was gonna go live. I talked about that. If you listen from the beginning, I had meetings going on, and I didn't go about setting that accordingly. So that's why I'm doing it now, because I had a meeting that I completely forgot about, and I was going to go on StreamYard, but because I didn't do the proper promotion for it in advance, at least 3 to 5 hours in advance, I decided to just go live. So I appreciate you coming on and taking time out of your schedule to listen, because I know you are a family man, and you got the kids, you got wifey. See, I don't got none of that. Wifey and me live, far apart. So I don't have no children no more. My daughter's older now. But for all you people that get to listen, like Sister Danita, Sister Janine, and, everybody, Sister Brittany, all the fathers out there, Brother Seven, I appreciate all y'all that take time out of your busy schedules to listen. But as I was saying, like, when it comes to our capability and the level of infinite possibility throughout the universe and how we can tap into that, a lot of us, including myself, we're suppressed to utilizing 5 senses. And honestly, when you think about it, the 5 senses, yeah, it can go a long way, but it's so limited to who we truly are, to the core of who we are as spiritual beings having a physical experience. I used to have many dreams. I don't have them anymore, but a lot of my dreams that I used to have, and I stopped having these types of dreams back in 2018. I don't know why, I just wasn't having them no more. But I used to fly a lot in my dreams, a lot, purposefully. Like, I used to just go into a dream and start flying, like if I was Neo. And I used to do it all the time. And then somehow, some way, I don't know what happened, but I just stopped having dreams where I'm deliberately flying to different places. But I bring that up because when it comes to our perceptions, a lot of our perception has been nullified or should I say dulled down and limited by the demonic forces that run the world. They do it through our food. See, our food is a big, major component of that, because if the food you're putting in your body, and I'm definitely guilty of this for many, many years, out of pure ignorance and complacency, where, I was that dude that I used to eat Wendy's, and I used to eat a lot of McDonald's and Burger King and all that shit. I used to eat that shit a lot when I was in my early 20s, late teens. And then little by little, I got out of that. But eating a lot of that food, it suppresses your ability to connect to the higher self, amongst other things. And what's happening right now is that now we're starting to relearn. And I'm going to do an episode about this on my TV channel, where we have to relearn. We have to relearn who we truly are. And I've talked about this, about being orphans, spiritual orphans, trying to find our Father, trying to come back to our biological parents, to our biological essence, which is really, I'm using that as a metaphor to come back to our spiritual essence. And some of us are coming into remembrance right now as I speak. Some of us are starting to come into certain abilities that we never knew we had, but all of a sudden we wake up and we can just do certain things. And one of the things that I'm ascending into when it comes to being on a higher vibration is I'm becoming super intuitive with people, where I can literally send messages telepathically. Now, I'm not doing this deliberately, but I'm sending messages telepathically to people I know that are very far away from me, and they're receiving it, and either they'll call me or they'll send me a text. It's just so weird. They'll say the same thing I said, or they'll talk about something I was talking about, and they'll say, hey, I was thinking about you at this time and time. I'm like, yeah, me too. And I was thinking about this, and boom. And my ears, brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. My ears have been ringing since, I would say, 2014. Since 2014, my ears have been ringing, and ever since the pandemic came and 2022 came, whew, my ears have been ringing on some extra level shit. Now, sometimes I could tell you this, and I know this to be true because I studied it. Sometimes when your ears are ringing, it's because there's interdimensional spiritual beings passing through your place, wherever you're at. And at times, those beings can be malevolent or they could be benevolent. And I don't know which side of the ear is which, but I do know that sometimes when my left ear rings and my dog starts barking, I feel like there's some type of presence that's passing by or that's around or near. And if any of you have heard some of the past shows from season 2, I talked a lot about this in season 2, where I even talked about it with Brother Cal, SlimeDoll23 on IG when he came on to the show, where I've had beings come and just visit me and just stare at me while I'm sleeping. And then I wake up and I see them. I saw this one time, and this is what I was telling Brother Cal. I've had this, I burnt it. Some of you know about this. I had a 33rd degree, Third Reich Mason book, like the original, from a lodge from the mid 1800s. And I had clippings in there and everything. And I asked a friend that had the book from North Carolina, and he was like, do you want it? And I was like, yeah, because there was a point in time, and this is where I was playing with fire. I didn't realize it. But there was a lot of, in my 20s, I played with fire a lot, in the sense that I wanted to study the enemy spiritually. I wanted to know how the enemy works. The problem with that is when you get these types of powerful books, when it comes to demonic forces, like the 33rd degree, Third Reich Freemasonry book that, what's his name? Albert Pike wrote. That shit is wicked, brothers and sisters. And my friend that gave it to me, who I'm friends with his wife from high school, she told me, she was like, listen, man, I don't know if you should read that book, because there's a lot of evil shit in there and it's going to have an effect on you. But I wanted to learn. So I read the book, but then I didn't touch it anymore. It just stayed in my library, in my room. And I think that because of that book, I was having entities visit me and try to attack me. And one of them, he didn't try to attack me, but it was this huge ghost figure that was dressed up like a Ku Klux Klan member. And this fucker was right in front of my bed, staring at me like he wanted to fuck me up. That's all his eyes said. His eyes was a cold stare. I'm actually getting goosebumps as I always get goosebumps when I talk about this, because it's really crazy. But that motherfucker was looking at me with a stare that was like, I can't even put into words. But I talked about it with Brother Cal privately, and I thanked him for a show that I watched that he did way back before this incident. And then right after I listened to him talk, he was breaking down a scripture. And I think it was from, what book was it from? I can't remember the scripture that he was breaking down. But something came over me right after I heard it. I went right to the library. I grabbed that fucking thick ass book, went to my backyard. I got a tire iron. I used to be a Boy Scout, so I know how to create fire from nothing. So what I did was I created a fire with dried up leaves, which the leaves here in Florida are different. So they don't burn the same, but they still burn. So I took a bunch of leaves. I took a lighter, lit the leaves up, and I put little pieces of, what do you call that? Paper towels around the circle, and I lit them all up. And then finally the fire started roaring up, and I put the book in there, and that book took 45 minutes to an hour to burn, brothers and sisters. There was a lot of wickedness in that book. And like I said before, if you heard the story, I was supposed to lay down the lyrics for The Power of Music, which is my song that I did with Take One. And in The Power of Music, I couldn't do my verse that night after I burned that book, because I think what happened was I got rid of that energy, and the dark forces that was bonded to that was not happy. So my voice was scratchy, and I kept coughing and coughing. Every time I got on the mic, try to spit the verse, it was like, oh. So after like 5 tries, I was like, all right, this ain't happening. I took a Zyrtec because I thought I was having an allergy attack, but it was a spiritual attack. It's kind of like how the attorney in Devil's Advocate in the beginning of not the beginning of the movie, the attorney that was trying to talk, and that voodoo guy had he put out a cow's tongue with nails, and he pretty much nailed that tongue and put a spell on the district attorney. So when he tried to talk, he kept coughing. It was the same type of experience that I had. So I went to bed, woke up, and then I did the Power of Music track, which, that's a classic. And shout outs to brother Take One for helping me put that together. But I want to just put emphasis on that, because when that happened, I got to do a little bit of a cleansing, because I used to want to study the enemy. And anybody that likes to study the enemy, be very careful, brothers and sisters, because sometimes it's not even about being spiritually equipped to handle that. But when you start delving into the astral plane, which is the spirit realm, you better come correct, because you are lunch meat if you don't know what the fuck you are doing. And I know people that got spiritually raped by reptiles and by reptilian type of beings. There were humanoid beings, but like the reptilian fallen angels. I know somebody personally that literally got raped in the spirit realm by a female reptilian. All right. Because this brother that I used to rock with used to be heavy into deep meditation, and then astral planing, and just, clearing the mind and going up into having the outer body experience. So you got to be very careful, very, very careful when it comes to that. And I wasn't trying to astral plane. What I was doing was I was studying doctrines, from satanic doctrines to Masonic doctrines. And I opened up a doorway and allowed certain entities to come within my dimensional realm here in my crib. And this was when I lived in upstate New York. And what would happen is, when I started reading the the Satanic Bible from a guy that I used to work with that I asked him if I could borrow it, I started having these entities come and try to attack me while, in that sleep paralysis state. And this shit followed me for a couple of years until I finally got to battle it and get it off of me and have the spirit of the Most High and of all of the angels that protect us to finally have the willpower and put myself together spiritually in order to get rid of that demon, because that motherfucker was around for a while. And it was because I was digging into that, and I was also spiritually weak in the sense that I was doing drugs. You know what I'm saying? I was doing a lot of drinking and drugging. Nothing crazy. I never shot heroin and all that, but I've tried certain drugs. And at that time, when I was doing and I was experimenting with certain drugs, on a consistent basis, they was coming hard. And, all praise to the Most High, to our Father Creator that really helped me by giving me access to positive information that I can read up on and gain the wisdom of the word. Because even though the word is in scriptures, people, you can get the Most High's word in other books. Because the Most High can speak to us in an infinite amount of ways. And like I said before, that book, Think and Grow Rich, it wasn't so much that I read it for the purposes of making more money. I started out like that, but as I got into midway, I was like, oh shit, this is some next level shit, because this is more of a spiritual thing. And I started really understanding at the age of 25, 26, 27 years old, what the hell's vibration is and all that. And I used to study that with my friend every day. And that's why life is filled with possibilities, infinite possibilities, because the world and the universe that the world rests on or exists within is limitless. I mean, there's just infinite possibilities of what a person can do. And I got a confirmation of this because the brother Jacoby that I shared my info with, he played a song. And I was like, wow, this is really good. I like it. So I told him, I said, if you want to, get some airplay, I said, I charge $75 for one song, and then it stays in rotation after your week rotation on the shows, and you got it. And it's going to go on all the platforms. And he was like, bet. So then he was telling me that he wants to start like a pro-black channel that he can talk about how to uplift black people. And I was telling him like, yo, if you want to collaborate on music, or if you want me to help you with what you got going on, just hit me up. I can give you some coaching sessions or whatever, right? Because that's what I do. I network. I'm always networking. And for some reason, it never fails. People that are yearning for knowledge, people that are yearning to do better in life and do things that are more meaningful, those are always the people that they always want to know what I do. They engage in conversation, because I wasn't going to talk to him. When I take a Uber ride, I'm not the guy that's going to be like, hey, how long you been driving for? And I don't do all that bullshit. I'm in my own thoughts. But if somebody talks to me, especially if it's somebody with a brain that doesn't, that has depth and meaning to their conversation, I'm all with it. And the brother asked me one question. We started talking. He put on his music. I loved it. And then I played, what song did I play for him that I have on my phone? I played Can't Stop Now with Take One. And he was liking it. And then he was like, yeah, man, we got to link up, and he was talking about even doing a collaboration on a song. So I was like, yo, let's do this. And that's, that's that infinite possibilities of what can happen when you walk out the door. And even though we live in the United Serpents of America and it's a fucking wicked place, the 1/3 is going to connect. And there ain't shit that these wicked forces could do about it. Because at the end of the day, you know, like I said in the quest for salvation, I said, Yah already defeated Satan. That's a fact. The spiritual war has already been won. It just has to play itself out because that's what it does. And there's no such thing as time. There's an infinite amount of planets. There's life forms all over the place. And we can only begin to understand this by understanding who we are and understanding where we truly come from and what our essence is. And there's so many possibilities to life. And just that little interaction, that brief interaction from a Uber ride that I took, I was able to meet a brother that I can connect with and collaborate and build on meaningful information. And one thing that I am grateful for is that the Most High has favored me for a long time now with the ability to help people. I've been doing it for years. And I didn't understand at 18 years old when I was told I was going to be a messenger by the Most High. I didn't understand it. But as I started, living my life and, just working jobs, pursuing a hip hop career, getting into radio, getting into public relations, getting into community activism, it revealed to me in time that I was like, oh, this is what the Most High was trying to relate to me at 18. But I wasn't ready, but I was being built up to be that messenger. And, I never forget, what was her name? I think it was Dr. Joy, Dr. Johnson. Oh man, I can't remember. But there was this doctor, this lady, a sister, older sister who, did a lot of work in the civil rights movement. And she was very highly respected. And she was telling me like, hey man, she called me, obviously by my government name and was telling me, she's like, you got a fire in you. You got a lot of powerful fire energy, and you have the ability to do great things in this movement for our people. And she said, don't ever let that go. Don't let anybody steer you away because the fire is strong within you. All right. And I say all of that to remind you people that we all have great purpose and we all have access to infinite possibilities in our life. We are not the type of people that are just one-trick ponies. Now, are there one-trick pony kind of people out there? Absolutely. But for the most part, the 1/3 of the population that is consciously and spiritually aware of who they are and are searching and for more, because the wise person, the wise man or woman that is truly wise is the one that knows that they always have so much more to learn. It's the individual that never just stops learning, but knows that they have to learn a lot. And even though some people say, oh, you got a lot of information and all that, and that's from years and years of studying and experience, but I don't know shit. Like there's so much that I don't know. But the best way I can improve in knowledge and awareness is by studying who I am. What is it that I'm here to do, and what are my abilities? So that way I can live life to the fullest potential and access all these different possibilities. and take advantage of opportunities. And you've heard me say throughout the week that many of us are favored and cursed. And I truly believe that there's aspects of my life, especially when it comes to my child and who I had a child with, there's curses there. And I got with somebody that's heavily cursed, and I believe I had a couple of curses on me. But you can use the favor that the Most High gives you to work through those curses. And then the best thing to do is get out your own way and allow Yahweh, allow the Most High to guide the way. Because it just makes sense when I think about it. The Most High can only guide the way for us. Because if we are an extension and an expression of the infinite light of all there is and ever will be, the Alpha, the Omega, that which is and always will be, Yahweh Elohim, then all we got to do is just basically allow the light to guide the way and get out of our own way. Because a lot of times, and society does this where they're like, oh, you are the master of your universe. And yes, there's truth to that. You are the captain of your soul. You are the master of your particular universe when it comes to the embodiment of what your spiritual essence is residing in the physical. You have the ability to be the manifester, the creator. We are creators. But at the end of the day, we are not the creator. We are an expression of that. So the more we get to understand who we are, the better we become equipped to leave this fucking place and not have to do it over again. And that's why if any of you heard the verse that I spit on 7 Seal Cipher towards the end, I said to escape this prison with Yah's mercy. And what I mean by that, escape the prison, is the prison of this dimensional, third dimensional realm that's called Earth. A lot of us just keep repeating this. But once we come to a certain level of awakening and understanding of how spirit, vibration, and universal principles work, when it's time for us to go and we pass on, then we can excel. Because I truly believe that there's more out there. I know there is. If y'all ever heard, I talked about how years ago, and this was long time ago. I think this was in 2011. Yeah, 2011, maybe 2012, around there. I went to go visit one of my very best friends that I grew up with since 4 years old. Shout outs to my brother, Orlando. And we went to this, one of his friends' house that had a get together. And I came outside to get some air on the balcony. And I looked up into the sky and I literally saw a humanoid being that looked like Dr. Manhattan from, or Mr. Manhattan. He looked like Silver Surfer, but blue. Matter of fact, it looked like the being on my artwork here. Just like that, right? But he was blue, like my awareness, how it's like an aqua blue. Well, this motherfucker was glowing in the sky, high up in the sky too. But I could see him. That's what was crazy. And then he had this beam of light that was coming out of his pineal gland, and it was scanning just like a real holographic digital imagery scanner. Just like how the how barcodes are getting scanned and you see that light that passes through. That's exactly what he was doing from his brain or what his pineal gland. And it looked like he was scanning an area and he was hovering. I was just like, oh shit. I couldn't, like, I knew it was happening, but I thought I was bugging. And then one of the people that was there, I guess the sister of the dude that was having to get to her, she came out and I showed it to her and she was like, oh, wow, I see it. And then when we came back inside, she said she didn't see anything. She said that I was high and all this other bullshit. And I was just like, all right, whatever. But I knew what I saw and I was just like, damn. You know, and it's those little moments where I'm like, yo, there's so much shit that we don't know when it comes to this thing called life and the world and the universe and the multitude of galaxies. And I mean, it's just so much. But life is filled with infinite possibilities. And not to go off in a different tangent like I just did, but let's keep on subject. People, I want to impress upon you that whatever it is that you're doing, go harder. Do more. Give more. All right? Give more. Say less. And do what is necessary in order to be the best that you can be, the best version that you have imagined for yourself. You are highly capable of becoming that. And it's easier said than done, because let me tell you, I'm the type of person that as much as I believe in myself, I still battle with self-doubt. I still battle with it from time to time. I still get nervous. I still get scared of being all that I can be. The shit is a little nerve-wracking, you know? And shout outs to wifey that I know she's busy at work. Thanks for joining, babe. I get scared, people, but I overcome the fear with my faith. Because I'm like, if I'm walking with the Most High, which I am, then there's nothing to fear. But because we are in the flesh and we have a thing called the brain, and there's different hormones that secrete certain types of endorphins, our emotional state is going to be, challenged. And that's where we have to overcome the emotion, and not just with logic, right? Because logic can give us a concrete interpretation of what we're perceiving, and emotions can nurture something that we experience. But when it comes to spirituality, the best way to overcome any low level vibration of fear, like self-doubt, is to just put faith in the Most High. And a lot of times take a leap of faith. And I know people say, I'm going to take a leap of blind faith. I used to say that a lot, but I don't think that when we take a leap of faith that we're blind. I think when we take a leap of faith, it's because we see all that is possible. And like Bob Proctor always says, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. And I've held certain things in my hands that I didn't think were possible, but because I stuck to the vision came into fruition, and then it's a reality now. And it's because life is filled with so much possibility. And I want to stress this fact, is that as long as we are looking for the answers looking for answers to the questions that we have in our lives, as long as we're looking from within to get those questions answered, you're never going to go wrong, because the Most High and the way spirituality works, it doesn't fail. It doesn't know failing. All it knows is the positive stream that operates off of universal supernatural forces and principles. And that's it. And it's like what you give is what you get out of it. And it doesn't discriminate. And I was just talking about this with Brother Oxacod earlier today about karma, right? Karma's a motherfucker, people. Karma's I'm not going to say karma's a bitch because I think karma's way more than a nasty bitch. I think karma is like that gangster that's guaranteed to fuck you up, like a Sicario, from the cartels or whatever. They're guaranteed to whoop ass. And that's what karma is, because we were talking about, somebody that I know from my past, and I was telling them all the wicked shit they did to me, and I was like, they're not looking too good, man, and their brain is all fucked up. They look old as hell. And that's why you got to be careful, brothers and sisters, how you treat people. Because if you are a foul piece of shit and you are doing things deliberately to hurt people or get them fucked up in a situation or ruin their lives somehow by false allegations and claims and all types of shit, and using the United Shenanigans institutions to fuck people over, it's gonna affect you. It's gonna come back to you. It might not come back right away, but I've noticed that when people fuck with the Most High's children, they get fucked up bad. There was a situation where there was a dude that, was trying to fuck up a situation that was going on with me, and I'm not going to go too much into it, but there was a dude that was trying to fuck my situation up and fuck up a situation for somebody who cares about me a lot. And through the grapevine, found out that this fucking dude had an arm brace. It looked like he got hit by a fucking car, or it looked like he got jumped and fucked up. And I haven't heard from him since. And I was just like, wow, when I heard that, I was like, it makes sense though. Because when you foul and you trifling and you mess with the Most High's peoples, you're going to pay for that somehow, some way. Karma is not going to be good to you. So be very careful on how you interact and treat people, because if you are trying to always take advantage of people, it's just not going to end up good for you. And it wasn't the main reason why I resigned and retired from the insurance industry. Because I still get offers, people. And sometimes, like, not this year, but last year I did get tempted. I ain't going to lie. I even applied last year to become a marketing director again for a company that wanted me to work remotely. So I was like, sure, I definitely could use the money and stuff. And I was like, let me go back into it, even though I didn't really want to, but I wanted to make a certain amount of money, and I thought it was going to work out, but it didn't. Why? Because of the science appliance. But what I was alluding to is that I'm glad that I don't sell insurance no more, because I felt like there was a part of me that was in that frame of mind where I was taking advantage of people. Not that I intended on it, but it comes with the territory. When you're in sales and you're selling certain products and you have to meet certain quotas and you have to sell in order to make money, because if you don't make no money, there's going to be times where you get challenged and you're going to do unscrupulous things. And it could be minor, but it weighs on you. And I had situations like that where I pushed certain situations to favor me financially, and it didn't feel good. And that's one of the other reasons why I had to walk away, because it wasn't in spiritual alignment with me. And why? Because I'm selling a product that is not demonic. I'm not going to say life insurance is demonic, but the institutions that run it and that created it, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because insurance industry is one of the most regulated industries of all industries throughout the world. Insurance makes up 60% of the world's economy. And there was just something in my spirit that was like, I don't want to do this no more. This is not what I wanted to do. I was doing it for money, and I found I got a lot of great opportunities. I even got to experience a lot of wonderful, meaningful spiritual things, but it wasn't my path. It wasn't my purpose. And if you're somebody listening to this show and you're in a similar predicament like I was, where you're doing something and it's making you money, but you don't feel any type of fulfillment or contentment, like it's doing something more than just putting money in your pocket, start to look to do what it is that is going to give you that fulfillment. Because you don't want to be in a situation, especially when life just has infinite possibilities. You don't want to pigeonhole or like block yourself into a situation that makes you get complacent. And then you just start creating a pattern of behavior that's very just kind of run-of-the-mill, plain Jane, average Joe type of status quo shit. And it happens to so many of us. Just like in the Matrix, where you saw all the people walking around. And Morpheus is telling Neo, like, all these people in here, like, they're just stuck. They're just, they're part of the fucking rat race. And if you are feeling like the rat race, especially here in the United States of America, was like, oh, get your education, get yourself a car, get yourself a house. That's making it, all this bullshit that we know ain't true. You know what I'm saying? How is a house going to make you feel any level of spiritual contentment? Yeah, it's good to have a house for your family and all that, or whatever, any type of shelter that you like to live in. But there's so much more to life than gaining material things. And I'm so happy that I never was the type of person that was into material things like that. I think one of the only material things that I was really into, that it became kind of my master for a while, was drugs. When it came to marijuana, wasn't a big drinker, but when it came to marijuana, man, forget it. Like that had a hold on me. There was times where I felt like I couldn't even function if I wasn't, smoking something. But I broke free from that. All praise to the Most High. But I bring it up because if you are in a situation where you're just not feeling a level of exhilaration that is filling you up with nothing but joy from moment to moment with the things that you are engaged in for most of your day, it's time to change that if you desire. Because there's some people that I've come across in my walk of life where they're cool with that shit. They know they could become an architect and build buildings, or they could start an entrepreneurial business that helps kids. They have all this knowledge of what they know they could do, but for some reason, they stay working at IBM or at, Ford or whatever decent job where they say they're making good money, whether it be a high 5-figure or low level, mid to level 6-figure. Money's not everything. If you're not feeling a sense of fulfillment in who you are, not by what you're attaining as far as material things, but just how you're feeling about yourself, your spiritual wealth, and having a connection to something that is of a higher purpose, then you're just gonna be like most people in the rat race. And I've seen so many great illustrations of this online where they show people that work their corporate 9-to-5 jobs for 30 years, only to retire and then die. And then their life insurance policies and all of their assets get passed down to whoever they left it to. And when they retire, they don't get to live too much longer. That's why I salute to my pops, because my pops is now 75, 76. And he's still doing the thing, man. Even though he got the fucking science appliance, which is disappointing like a motherfucker, he's still doing his thing. And he told me, he said, I ain't gonna stop working. I can't stop working. He said, if I stop working, I die. And I don't want to die. So, my pops is onto something. But why should we not do that which we love to do the most? Why? Because we got to pay bills? I understand the concept of having to make a life for yourself, especially here in the United States, and it takes money to have things and to pay bills and be what they call a functional citizen. But as I've come more and more into this truth of the Most High, of Yahweh Elohim's truth, as I've come to understand the Most High's truth, there's two things that resonate with me. One is that less is more. And the second is that we are beings of infinite possibilities. So whatever it is that we choose to want to manifest and do, as long as we are faithful to that truth and understanding of who, what, and what we're capable of, the possibilities are endless of what can be achieved and gained. And I could tell you that ever since I got back into radio, because when I was doing radio in 2006 and doing the live streaming, oh boy, was I vibrating. I was doing other things too, but boy, was that exhilarating. Now that I do it independently and I'm not so much of because I was an executive producer and then I was also a radio personality, but it wasn't my show. It was a show I was a part of. But now that I have my own entity, that level of fulfillment that I had when I was working on radio is even greater because I am in control of it with the decisions that can be made for it. Whereas before, my decisions had to be made with other people that had say in what should be done. And they had final say. I was just contributing. But now that I have this entity, I'm just so grateful because the possibilities of where the network of awareness can go it's amazing. As well as with the TV network, where that can go. And then other things that can come out of that. Because there's other things I want to do. I'm just trying to take it one step at a time because I'm doing it by myself. And I was talking about this in a marketing meeting with a company that I'm looking to do some work with. And something the guy said to me about, knowing how online business work, if you can understand how to work online and navigate and market yourself online, if you really get the key ingredients to that shit, man, the rest is history. Like you can really have a multiple stream of incomes that you don't even have to work hard at working. And if I would have only knew that, or should I say, I did know that actually when I was younger, I just didn't care to invest time in it. And because I didn't invest time, I stood so far away from social media in my 20s and 30s. I didn't entertain that shit. And the only reason I started a Facebook page when I did start one years ago that I still have to this day, I just added the network of awareness. And there's a part of me that wants to delete it and just start a whole new page. And I kind of battle with that. But when I started Facebook, I just did it because so I can connect with certain family members. And then I just left it there. But I stood away from social media. And I'm not going to say I regret it because I don't, but I'm a little disappointed that I didn't take more time into getting to know the internet better than what I did get to know it at the time. And also producing in studios. Like I had many opportunities when in the studios to learn shit, and I chose not to. I chose to fuck off and play Xbox and all other types of dumb shit. And now, because of not, heavily being engaged in these things, I'm learning it from scratch. I'm learning it from the ground up. And it's hard because I'm green in a lot of this online digital world. I'm still learning shit. And I'm going to still continue to learn because there's so much. But I will eventually learn enough to where I can make more significant impacts on how I distribute my information and my creativity online and on social media as well. But life is filled with so many possibilities, brothers and sisters, and do not limit yourself to just one. Try to fulfill or engage in a multitude of possibilities because you are the image of that which is and always will be. And that is a powerful force. And one of the reasons why I do what I do is to remind you of that, in case you forget or in case you want to know what that's about. And we can grow together on this podcast because as much information I distribute on this platform, I gain a lot of wisdom from the energy and the knowledge that many of you that support and listen and subscribe to this show give. And that's why you constantly hearing me say, what a great time to be alive. And it really is for me, because even though I don't have half of the shit that I used to have established when I was in the world working in corporate America, I have less material things, but I have more spiritual things. And for me, that means so much more. Because if it wasn't for everything that I gained spiritually, I wouldn't have encounters like I had today with the Uber driver and wanting to know who I am and what I do. Because if I was just some average Joe, plain Jane type of dude, I guarantee you that dude wouldn't have been like, hey, what do you do or whatever? He would have just stood quiet, kept about his business, provided the service as a driver, and would have said thank you to me. I would have told him thank you, and we would have kept it moving. But that's not how it went down. And it's because everything does happen for a reason, and that reason is there to serve you. And that quick encounter, you might be hearing some new music from this brother Jacoby very soon that I was very impressed with. And the brother wants to make an impact for his people, for his melanated black brothers and sisters. And I said, hey, if you want some advice and you want to chop it up, and if he wants to do a song with me, like he said, I'm down. I'm down because I'm all about spirituality and I'm all about trying to strive for righteousness in this world because we need it. We need righteousness in this world more than ever because most of the world's population likes to engage in a lot of fuckery and a lot of manipulation. And like I said before, brothers and sisters, there's people in this truth community that are so full of shit. Don't even get me started. There are people within this truth community that are so full of shit. They're not really about that life. They're not really about serving the Most High. A lot of them are serving their best interest and they masquerade behind this thing of saying, I'm in the truth community and I love Yahweh Elohim and all this. They don't. They think they do, but they don't because their actions don't support that. And there's people like that. I'm not saying there's a lot, but there's I said this before and I didn't say it as a joke, but a couple of people that I said it to took it as a joke, but it wasn't. But I said there is a 1/3 population within the truth community. So there's a 1/3 population behind the alleged 1/3, in my opinion. And you got to be careful. You got to be careful with people because certain energies just don't mix, man. They just don't. And when they don't mix, just keep it moving. It's something that I'm still learning present day because I'm coming back into remembrance when it comes to my happy-go-lucky nature from when that I lost after the age of 15 years old when I got set up to get killed. It just wasn't the same anymore. But I'm coming back to that. But even though I'm coming back to that, I have to keep it in its proper, I don't know what the word is, but I have to keep it in its proper perspective when dealing with people. Because as much as I like to help and I like to build and network, not everybody is worth giving your energy to because they're not vibrating or even trying to vibrate on that level. Their level of perception is limited to their 5 senses and to their lower vibrational frequencies, the lower half, the one that the music industry and hip hop caters to. So, with that being said, I'm going to drink some water here and I'm going to play some music real quick and then come back and then we'll end the show with some closing statements in regards to life is filled with possibilities. And I want to thank everybody that's I want to thank everybody that's in this chat room that took time out to join it because it wasn't planned. And I was supposed to do a show at 12, but I couldn't. And I'm glad that I didn't put out the promo like I was supposed to for the StreamYard. But what I'm going to start doing on certain nights, if I'm capable of it, is, as many of you know, I've had StreamYard for quite some time now. And I've done a couple of episodes that are live broadcast on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And I'm going to start doing that again once a week to where I will simultaneously broadcast live on StreamYard, which will be video broadcasting, as well as broadcasting simultaneously on Spreaker. I didn't do it today because I didn't have the time to set it all up and I didn't put the promo out. But the good thing with Spreaker is, like, as long as you press that record button, you can do a live from anywhere. You can do it from your phone, from your tablet, and from your computer. So, if anybody has any questions that they want to ask in the interim of this short, brief instrumentation, put them out there in regards to this. Because I always, my two brothers in the chat room, they always got great questions and insight. So don't hesitate, Brother Alkaline J and Brother Cook, all right? I know wifey's busy, so she ain't gonna be asking any questions. But it's all good. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, let's get into some of this music that I've been playing. And let's start it off with Brother JB, which, damn, I just remember I got to link up with Brother JB for the sound check. We're going to be doing a show on Monday, people. So Brother Demon Slayer is going to be on the show this Monday. I don't know what I'm titling the show yet, but I'm pretty sure by the time Monday comes around, I'll have a nice, good title that'll represent that interview. And the brother's going to spend the whole 2 hours with me. So we're going to get into some great stuff, and he's going to be able to promote his music and his thoughts on his relationship with the Most High. So let's hear some of his the type of relationship that he has with the Most High in his music. So this is called Stay Patient.
Yeah, we ready for war. Moving on one accord. Brethren at my side, we just gotta endure. Taking my thoughts and bringing to Christ, throwing down imaginations. I'm just trying to stay patient, stand fast, can't wait. Yeah, we ready for war. Moving on one accord. Brethren at my side, we just gotta endure. Dodging demons like the Matrix. I'm just trying to go home. Swore made it that truth, so I just gotta move on. Ready for war, ready for death if it go like that. So if I die, I pray that I die for the Most High God. I can't turn around, I can't look back, so it's all out war. I'm seeing the path so narrow, careful to not fall. Get up for it's too late. Sun come with a blaze with a judgment. In that day won't see where the sun went all black like sackcloth and the moon blood. This is a warning to go and repent. This is a warning to seek out the Lamb. This is the point where you go and examine. Gotta stay patient, I'm looking inside. Trust the Most High with all of my life. I love all my brothers, we suffer with Christ. When it feel like death, just know that it's life. Don't give up, Christ paid that price. Don't give up, Christ paid that price. Yeah, we ready for war. Moving on one accord. Brethren at my side, we just gotta endure. Taking my thoughts and bringing to Christ, throwing down imaginations. I'm just trying to stay patient, stand fast, can't wait. Yeah, we ready for war. Moving on one accord. Brethren at my side, we just gotta endure. Dodging demons like the Matrix. I'm just trying to go home. Swore made it that truth, so I just gotta move on.
Gonna spread that peace and love right now. Why, I ain't playing about it, I need my money right now. I don't care about that shit, but the hundreds give me power to change the world. I'm coming for the man's throat. We killing Mother Earth, yo, it ain't a fucking joke. Turn the TV off, read the book, stupid. Get your mind right, if we unite, we could do this. I was born to ride for the cause, wildin' out in my drawers, bad it, fuck the laws, they corrupt. I do my own dance, to my own drum, sing my own song. I ain't heard nothing real in so long. God soldier, yo, your time's over, mobbing with my posse, overthrow ya. Power to the people, love conquers all, kill what's evil. It's like 1, 2, 3, I go by the name Jeffrey. Peace and love, that's how I ride. And you know that we won't stop. Why, 1, 2, 3, I'm for hope and equality. I can't believe that they done shot Nipsey. Too much violence, it must stop. Why, no one one's innocent. We all play a part. If we turn our heads, then we ain't pure of heart. Takes courage, baby. Who's coming with me? Who's down to step up? Who's getting busy on the punk beats? Pick your fucking trash up. Ocean's dying. Throw your damn cup out the window. Microplastics for the kiddos. More fire, more carbon. More liars in the government. Folks starving. Folks tired. Who's riding?
It's like 1, 2, 3. I go by the name Definitely. Peace and love, that's how I ride. And you know that we won't stop. Why, yo? 1, 2, 3. I'm for hope and equality. I can't believe that they done shot Nipsey. Too much violence, it must stop. Why, yo? We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love right now. Why, yo? We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love right now. Why, yo?
Hey yo, spread it. All the hatred we got to dead it. If we don't come together, then we gon' regret it. Headed towards freedom with no break, no exit. The man's time is over. You can say I said it. Spread it. All that bullshit got to stop it. Fighting against each other, yo, that's what he always wanted. Robbing for the guys, for my guys. Get it on till I die. I'm a freedom ride. Change is gonna come.
We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love right now. Why, yo? We gon' spread that peace and love. We gon' spread that peace and love.
Yeah, this is called Don't Fuck With Y'all's Children. I haven't played this one in a while.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness. ORRA. Information.
Now you're listening to the one and only Oxaca.
Comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. There comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. Don't cross that line or we gotta let the sword fly. It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. So don't cross that line when we gotta let the sword fly. All praises to the Most High. First off, I just want to say that every single day a blessing, so I'm really stepping, trying to find my way back. Counted the cost, repented the flaws, I'm trying to live. Yeah, the kingdom of heaven abroad. Have hope in my dreams, I pray I don't fall. I pray for the ones who is lost. I'm feeling the sorrow of times. I'm looking on up in the sky. I'm seeing a lot of the signs. It's either repent or you die. Cannot be walking two sides. Choose to stay who you ride for. Cemented in faith till I die. You don't really wanna fall off. Keep your head up. Keep my sword with me with armor. We won't let up. Sharpen up your brother. praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. Don't cross that line or we gotta let the sword fly. It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. So don't cross that line, we gotta let the sword fly.
I wonder why we was created, but later I got my answers. Was searching scriptures daily, trying to get rid of this cancer, the spirit. Bearing witness, I live these holy commandments. Repent, or you gon' perish. Destruction is way too scary. Every day I wake, I give all praises to the Most High. Living in this lie, learn the truth, or you gon' die. Ain't much time left, the Savior coming, looking to the sky. It ain't no disguise, gotta armor up my own mind. Gotta get it, spirit dripping, these gifts don't got no limits. I'm just wishing I could live in that holy kingdom with them. Focus on the mission, eyes locked in tunnel vision, no paganism. We truly follow Christ, that real Christian.
It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. Don't cross that line or we gotta let the sword fly. It comes a time when we gotta praise the Most High. It comes a time when we repent in the Lord's eyes. Been traumatized, we just weep until we sore eyes. So don't cross that line, we gotta let the sword fly.
All praise to the Most High. Repent and perish.
Please just tell me what's happening to me in plain English without the mumbo jumbo.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. Make me a nightmare for people like you.
How you doing?
All right, we are back. Even though this is a bonus episode, I didn't mark it as one, but it is a bonus episode for this Saturday. And I want to thank everybody who was able to join. And I want to thank everybody who is outside this chat and those that are going to be listening after this broadcast is over and downloading the show. Life is filled with infinite possibilities. Don't forget it. Keep it near and dear. And understand that you have the ability to manifest and create the reality in which you want to live in. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to the spiritual warfare, the whole purpose of it is that they don't want you to have a spiritual understanding of anything. What they truly want is some type of automatons that just operate as zombie-like robotic, pretty much robots that have no connection to the Most High and just serve the master, which is that demonic one world order beast system that is just going to serve everything that is malevolent and have Luciferian principles be the doctrine of the land. And even though they are pushing that agenda very hard, they ain't going to win. They might have some success as they had in bringing about destruction. But when it comes to the spiritual warfare, people, those that will be protected from the atrocities that are to come are those that have a connection, those that are aware, those that are prepared, those that are spiritually ready to deal with whatever comes, those that do not live in fear. And I know that many of you, if not all of you that listen to this show, have that type of mindset. But at the end of the day, we're still going to battle with low-level vibrations of fear. It's here, so we have to deal with it. And at times, it does overwhelm us. But as long as we maintain faith, which is our test, we can overcome it. And I am a testament to that. I'm still overcoming fear, but not like I used to. Before, it used to be a lot. Now it's just a little bit. Now it's just trying to get things in order so that way I can serve better. But that doesn't exclude me from dealing with the battle of the ego and the spirit and the battles of low-level thinking, to where you start to doubt yourself, you get anxiety, you get stressed, you get depressed, you get all these different types of low-level energy vibrations. But it comes with the territory. It's the world we live in, but it's not the end. It's just a part of the process to temper and build and strengthen the true you, the higher self. So keep pushing through. Keep your faith unwavering, and life is going to be good to you because you're being good to life and you're putting out those righteous intentions to be all that you can be and then some, through the grace of the Most High, which is our great creator of that which is and always will be. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, we're going to be back on Monday, and we're going to have, from as far as I know, it's all going to go through. I just got to do my sound check with him probably tonight or tomorrow if he's available. We're going to have brother JB Demon Slayer on Monday night from Most High Monday. It's going to be a banger, people. I'm excited about it. And now that we're almost halfway into season 4, I got to get back on my my interviews from people around the world that are waiting on me that I've kind of kept on the back burner. And I do apologize for many of you that are waiting to be interviewed on, especially on Podmatch. So I got to get up on there. But I'm not making any excuses, but sometimes I'm like, damn, I'm got a lot of shit going on. So I just got to build some better organization around some of the things that I got going on, because sometimes I lose track, man. I'm just like, I want to do so much, but sometimes I put too much food on my plate and I don't get to finish it all. But I'm working through that, people. So be patient with me, and I guarantee you that I will continue to try to bring you the best possible information when it comes to social sciences and society and culture, and of course, spirituality, and just bringing about a message of truth and helping people become more aware of what is compared to what isn't, and just expose these lies so that we can better understand the truth and be in this truth. So I want to thank everybody again for joining the Network of Awareness. And let me get some of this, some music here. All right. So, people, brothers and sisters from around the world, thank you for tuning in to episode 46. Life is filled with possibilities. And thanks to Danita Britton from A1 Career Services for sponsoring the Network of Awareness. And don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel, because the light is and always will be within you. So light up the tunnel and find your way through the darkness, brothers and sisters. And when you live in the present, there's always an opportunity for a beginning, because life is filled with infinite possibilities. Peace, love, and light, and barakatah. All praise to the Most High, the Father, the Creator, Yahweh Elohim. Peace, brothers and sisters.